Now what we'll do is create a brand new worksheet from scratch. And this is a very typical thing that you open Excel, you have a blank sheet rather than something that somebody's given to you and you go. So let's click cell A1 if you need to, where column A meets row 1. And let's just start typing. I'll say Two Trees is the name of our company, Olive Oil Company. Now, when you're done typing, you know you're done typing, but Excel doesn't know you're done typing. And you see you have your cursor flashing there. Well, in order to tell Excel that you're done and you want to make this permanent, you have to press the Enter key. If you start typing, let's say you go down here and type sales. If you don't press Enter, nothing happens. And in fact, if you hit the Escape key, then it goes away. Now that's not an undo because you haven't done anything yet. So let's type in, again, we'll say sales of bath soap. And again, you know you're done typing. You have to tell Excel, so we press Enter. And notice also that when you press Enter, you're not just entering what you're doing, you're also going down one row below. We'll talk about that also in a little bit. So let's click back on this. And it looks like we have some words in A2 and that you have other words in the other cells, but that's not what's really happening. When you have A2 selected, look up here in the formula editing bar, you see all of the text. And if you go to cell B2 or C2, D2, you notice that the formula editing bar is empty. So what's happening is the text is really contained in A2. It's just kind of borrowing the space next to it. Well, what happens if you go here into B2, which the formula editing bar tells you is empty and available to type? Let's just type in some stuff and enter. Now you notice that the text isn't continuing because there's text in the way. Cell B2 is filled. If you take that and delete, now your text can continue. All right, let's put some other things in here. Let's go here to A5 and let's type in region. I want to say what region of the companies are we looking at. Let's put in, say, North, South, Central, and West. Okay, and let's put in the months. So let's go over here and we'll type January. And I'm just going to hit the Tab key to get to the next cell. Or I could hit the right arrow key to get to the next cell. And there is an easier way to type in the months that we'll look at in a little while. But right now we just want to do this. Now here's something that's kind of important. When I'm done typing, and I see a lot of new Excel users will do this, they'll type in the whole sheet, and when they get to the very last cell they're typing in, they'll just kind of sit there. Well, you can't do that. You have to press Enter. But here's what's also important is instead of pressing Enter and going down one row, what if I wanted to enter and stay put on cell G5? Well, instead of pressing the Enter key by itself, hold down the Control key and press Enter. And that way you can enter G5 and stay put on G5. Well, let's look at a few editing techniques here. You can use the 4 cursor keys on your keyboard to navigate up, down, right, and left. Let's go out here. If you hit the Home key, you zip all the way to column A, but staying in the same row. If you press Control right arrow, you stay in the same row and go all the way to the last column. You could do this going up or down also. If you press Control Home, you get to the first cell, cell A1. If you press Control End, not Control N like new file, but END, that brings you to the end of the worksheet. Now, let's look at a few editing techniques here. Let's say instead of June, I wanted this to be a total column. Well, you can click it and just delete, and that gets rid of it. And I'm going to undo, and you have your undo button up here, or you could press Control Z to undo. Control Z works in every program, whether it's Microsoft or not. And if you have a hard time remembering that, you might want to think that Z stands for zap, the last thing I did. Well, if I want to put the word total here, I can just type the word total. I don't have to delete anything. I'll just press Control Enter to stay put on that cell. Now, what if I wanted to edit what's in one of the cells? Well, a few things I could do is maybe if I wanted this to say regions instead of region, I could just double click and that puts my cursor in there and I can type. I'm just going to escape out of there. Or when your cell is selected, you could click up here in the formula editing bar and you can type. Again, I'm just going to escape out of there. Or you could press the F2 key on your keyboard and that will also let you edit. So there's 3 ways that you could edit. Well, here's a nice little technique. If you want to select one word in a cell that has a bunch of things. So for example, sales of bath soap first half year, we have a bunch of words in here. What if I wanted to select the word sales only and not the rest of the words, and that cell is not active? That's 2 double clicks. The first double click puts your cursor in the cell. The second double click selects the word. So I'm going to put my mouse pointer on the word sales. First double click inserts the cursor. Second double click selects the word. And now if I want to type something like volume or whatnot. So that's a handy thing to do. Again, I'm just going to press escape to get out of there. So now that you know some handy editing techniques, you really want to keep them in mind because it's going to make your life in Excel a heck of a lot easier. And remember some of those shortcuts too. I think you're going to like those.